Metal Gear fans have been feeling disillusioned these past few years because of how Konami essentially butchered the franchise with Hideo Kojima's departure and the less than amicable way that ended up being, and just the way Konami's treated Metal Gear with titles like Metal Gear Survive and all of their franchises, and how they've been mistreated through the exploitation of their IPs to pave the road for pachinko versions of these legendary IPs and the like. And it's been kind of sucky to see, but there is some hope brewing because of rumors corroborated by multiple sources that Konami is intending to license out their IPs and revitalize these franchises by letting other developers get their hands on them and hopefully do them justice. We have heard about how Bloober Team, the folks behind the Medium, are working allegedly on a Silent Hill game, and how on top of that there is a Japanese studio who is also helming Silent Hill. But for today's video, the main thing to focus on is how the company is willing to contract outside studios for its major franchises, with Konami working on Castlevania and Metal Gear games via external companies, as reported by Video Games Chronicle back in February 2021. Now, rumors always had it that it's probably Bluepoint who is making a Metal Gear Solid remake, but this was something that was debunked by insider Millie A, who pointed out how Bluepoint, who are an official PlayStation studio as of yesterday, have two projects in development: an original game similar in size to Insomniac's Miles Morales, and a remake of a beloved game. But she says that that remake is not, in fact, Metal Gear Solid. She insists that is 100%. And this was further corroborated by a story from Video Games Chronicle published on October 1st, detailing how Konami is set to revive Metal Gear, Castlevania, and Silent Hill. And as far as Metal Gear is concerned, what they heard through the grapevine was that the developer of this remake is not, in fact, Bluepoint, but rather another studio going by the name Virtuos. And another twist is that we're not even looking at a Metal Gear Solid 1 remake, but rather at a full-fledged Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater remake, is what sources told Video Games Chronicle. And Virtuos, for those who don't know, they've ported a bunch of games like XCOM 2 Collection, BioShock Collection, Outer Worlds. They've worked on games like Spyro, Assassin's Creed, Dark Souls Remastered, Battlefield, Uncharted, Knack, Call of Duty, you name it. A lot of AAA games, Horizon, Gravity Rush, Watch Dogs. So they certainly are very experienced. They've been in the industry for a while, but they don't have that one big game that they can truly call their own. You know, they've been mainly, I think, a support studio. But with the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, it would seem as though this will be their big project to show the industry what they're made of. It's not their original IP, but it's certainly far more than just a port or more than just a support role for the studio. This is a major project that allegedly they're going to be in charge of. Eurogamer further corroborated this, noting that Eurogamer sources suggest the publisher has mulled a new version of Metal Gear Solid 3 for quite some time, referring to Konami. Allegedly, early on, there were plans for a potential Metal Gear Solid 3 remake on Fox Engine, but that didn't pan out, and now Virtuos is helming this and using whatever engine they'll end up using. I guess we'll find that out when this information is officially confirmed, if it is officially confirmed. Now, the reason I bring up Metal Gear today is because there have been additional developments on that front, on top of all of the rumors that do seem to be lining up, with a number of sources confidently saying we're looking at a Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, and it's Virtuos remaking it, not Bluepoint, who are remaking something else, and we'll get to that in a bit. But as noted here by the latest article from Video Games Chronicle on this front, Virtuos employee confirms unannounced remake amid Metal Gear Solid 3 report. This was something that was spotted by a Twitter user, Faizan Shaikh, who tweeted, "So Virtuos Studios working on remake according to this LinkedIn profile, probably Metal Gear Solid 3. Previously, it's been reported by Andy Platonic. AAA action adventure remake, looks like ground up remake, 4K for certain platforms." And you can see the screenshot of the LinkedIn page that straight up says at the top here, the lead software engineer is working on an unannounced 3A or AAA action adventure game remake, and Metal Gear Solid 3 would certainly fall in that category. Below that, it is detailed the responsibilities and achievements involved behind this job, starting with how this individual led a 12 women/men team, including software engineers, tech artists, and level designer responsible for the game engine. Below Below that, we get even more specific details: design the working technical process for level art production, set up assets standard with art lead, and created tools, Maya plugins to guarantee the execution of the technical process. Yada, yada, yada. You can pause and read for yourself if you so desire. Now, what's interesting is the last 2 bullet points, how they led a set pieces destruction team for all destruction scene production through the entire game. Does that potentially hint at destructible environments or just destructible objects within cutscenes? Hard to say. And finally, upgrade the engine to support 4K on certain platforms. So it goes without saying, with a new generation of consoles, the game will likely be 4K, hopefully 60 FPS, if again, this is, in fact, Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake, which it's looking like it is. And, you know, with previous Metal Gear rumors, it's all been kind of nebulous. Certain sources saying some things and some rumors matching up here and there, but nothing super concrete. This is looking like potentially the most concrete rumors yet, and they're still rumors, but they're looking pretty valid given how many of these sources and rumors are lining up. And now with the discovery that Virtuos is actually making a remake, though it's labeled as an unannounced AAA action-adventure game remake, it seems highly likely that Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake being in development is something that we can look forward to. Take with a grain of salt until officially confirmed, obviously. Don't get your hopes up until we know for sure, because you never know. But this is one of those gambles. Like, I would be willing to put my money on Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake being true at this stage with the rumors that are out there now. As for what Bluepoint is working on, if not the Metal Gear Solid Remake, then what is it? Because it has been relayed that there is a remake of a beloved game in development within Bluepoint on top of an original game. So what is it? And apparently somebody with information on this front is Colin Moriarty, who tweeted this back on October 4th, 2021. I'm hearing through the grapevine Bluepoint may be working or maybe on a journey to Yharnam, which is of course the setting of Bloodborne. So all of a sudden we got rumors that Bluepoint is not in fact working on Metal Gear Solid, but rather a Bluepoint remaster or remake. And here's the thing about this tweet. It was corroborated by Millie A, who also tweeted about Bluepoint and how they're not working on Metal Gear Solid and are also working on an original game. The same industry insider essentially retweeted Colin Moriarty's tweet with a wink, as if to suggest, yeah, you're onto something there, as if to suggest that she has pretty much similar information as him in regards to what Bluepoint is actually working on as far as a remake is concerned. And beyond that, somebody captured the following screenshots from Discord messages from Colin Moriarty, where he further explains how he came about this information. Apparently, the source who told him that Insomniac is working on a Wolverine game, which he didn't believe initially, is the individual who told him about Bluepoint and how the studio is working on a Bloodborne remake. And given that the Wolverine game turned out to be true, it would seem as though this source is reliable. So I'm happy to pass along the information. Whether it's true or not remains to be seen. He told me some other stuff too, which may become lucid over time. I was told they're remastering the game for PS5 and then making a ground-up sequel. So this isn't a Demon's Souls remake type of situation where it's made from the ground up. The Bloodborne remaster, according to Colin, will be them taking the existing game and enhancing it in what ways they can. Graphically, of course, but mainly for me, I want that extra performance. I want that 60 FPS experience with Bloodborne. That's what a lot of people are looking forward to, but it'll be interesting to see what other enhancements come along the way with this remaster. But as far as from the ground up goes, allegedly there are plans for Bluepoint to eventually, likely after their original game and the Bloodborne remaster, there are plans for them to helm a ground-up Bloodborne 2, a Bloodborne sequel, which would be incredible, and if Demon's Souls Remake is any indication, it's probably going to look incredible. But yeah, all these rumors are starting to line up, and they start making more sense. Bluepoint working on a Bloodborne remaster makes sense, and potentially helming a Bloodborne sequel, that also could make sense given the great work that they did with Demon's Souls Remake. And now, on the other hand, we got Virtuos, who are allegedly remaking Metal Gear Solid 3, further corroborated by the latest news where we got to see an employee full-on say there is in fact some kind of remake in the works, AAA, action-adventure. At the very least, Metal Gear Solid 3 can fit within that description. And with what Video Games Chronicle reported, with what Eurogamer said about their corroboration of sources suggesting that the publisher has thought about a Metal Gear Solid 3 remake for some time, the stars are beginning to align, and I'm inclined to believe that one of these days we will see not a Metal Gear Solid 1 remake announcement, but a Snake Eater remake announcement. And it's something that I'm really excited for. Many consider to be their favorite in the series, or, you know, at the very least, the best package in terms of the balance of story and gameplay, with the story in particular probably being my favorite in the entire series. And, you know, this is a game that could certainly use some modernization, and to have this possibility that, you know, the best game in the series and the origin story of the series, if you think about it, given that it takes place early in the timeline, and it is the earliest in the timeline for the mainline games, you know, it's an exciting prospect, assuming the rumors are true. So I'll keep you guys updated. Many of you, I'm sure, are curious to see how this goes, and hopefully Virtuos will do a good job with it and not botch it up, and hopefully Konami won't interfere in ways that will make life difficult for the developers. I do hope that this project is successful to just give Metal Gear fans something after the tragic loss of the entire franchise out of the blue when that Konami-Kojima feud happened, and with the prospect of sequels helmed by the original visionary himself being essentially impossible at this stage, or highly unlikely. This is maybe the next best thing, the remake of something that already exists that adheres to the vision that Kojima put in place. Hopefully they won't deviate too much from that if this is indeed a game that's being developed. But that's one man's take and one man's hopes and dreams. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are about the latest Metal Gear Solid 3 remake rumors, and whether that's something you would look forward to. Share your thoughts below, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.